What's up, everybody? Are you like me and you took advantage of the Black Friday sale and the fact that the new Surface Pro 9 came out and you picked up a Surface Pro 8 at a killer deal? So I did, and the question was, can you game on it? You know the old saying, can it play Crisis? It can't play Crisis, but there are a lot of games that can play, and using the Microsoft Game Pass app, there's a lot of things it can do, even more so than what it probably should be able to do. And so if you happen to have a controller or you want to use your keyboard and mouse, but controller ties it in. And so here's some footage of me gaming on the Surface Pro 8, using it through Game Pass, and then also something really cool that Microsoft has included in Microsoft 11. Go ahead and check out what we can do with that. Now this game is huge, so I can understand having a little bit of load time, and the maps are massive. So as you can see, here's Assassin's Creed Odyssey, as I just mentioned. And something that I thought was really cool is this game I was able to play on the go, even when I was in Dallas for a jiu-jitsu seminar. I was able to just game a little bit and not have to worry about, hey, will I be able to play this when I'm not at home and playing on my Xbox. And I find this super cool and really simple, and it's just something you can do. So there you have it, gaming on the go, right here on the Surface Pro 8. Check it out. Again, I'll give you, it's not 60 frames per second. It might even be a little bit under 30 frames per second. But if this is all you got and you just want to game a little bit, I think it's workable. Like I said, I played like a half hour like this and I had no problems. I think once you get adapted to it, you're like, okay, it is going to run slower.
Well met.
So like I said, a game like this probably could not run on a system like this, at least now, without being pretty much unplayable. So with Game Pass, it makes it possible, and again, it's not perfect, it's not great. But... So there you just saw some footage of me playing Assassin's Creed. Of course, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a very huge game, and it's got tons of stuff you can do in it. Probably one of the biggest games I've ever played. Oh, I can hear it, actually. Interesting. Now you notice, you can hear a little bit at the end of the video. And I was like, wow, surprising you can actually hear the fans going, because I thought it was just basically a screen, but I guess there is a little bit of processing power going on. Let's go ahead and jump into Gears of War 5. So here's Gear 5 playing on the Xbox Game Pass, and something I noticed in this particular run is I had a little bit of stutters. It doesn't do that too often, but I mean, again, we are streaming it, so I can see there's a little bit of possibility. But again, you get a little bit used to it, and I think it's totally playable. Again, I'm looking at this in a pinch, not necessarily as my normal daily gaming device. So I'm not going to bore you with a whole bunch of Gears of War 5 play, but you get the idea. I can play it. Again, it may not be the fastest, but it's definitely playable. Especially once you kind of get used to the speed and the frame rate, then maybe you'll be a little bit even more playable. And then, of course, Halo, Gears, all those I think are just awesome. I'm not always looking for the newest game, so this is okay for me. And I've already played this one before, so I don't mind playing it again. This one has a lot of powers and stuff. So like if I teleport, I can chop him up. But you get the point. You can see that you can play it. It's definitely playable. Again, it might not be 60 frames per second or whatever, but I think once you get kind of adapted to the speed, and again, if you're on the go, that's something you can do. Something I've noticed, colors are a little off right now. I think it's in that night mode. And then let's go ahead and look at Gears Tactics. Now, Gears Tactics I did load onto the system itself so you can do a benchmark as well as to play the game. And in my final run, I did bump everything up to just medium, and it was totally playable. So just know that you can put your Surface Pro 8 or even maybe a 9 if you have it. You can put Gears Tactics on it and play it at medium, no problem, and you'll be fine.
So let's see, Iris graphics, 8 gigs, Intel 11th gen Core i7, 3 gigs, 16 gigs RAM, resolution was at 84%, minimum frame rate was 30, maximum was 30. Everything was set pretty much to low, which I could tell. Okay, this is set to medium for everything, and I feel it's noticeably better. Like, you can actually make out way more than on the low settings. To me, this is totally playable. Like, I could actually play this no problem.
Looks dead to me.
And check it out. So since Microsoft has now teamed up with Android, you can now put Android apps right here on your Surface, and you can use a controller, or you could even use your thumb and mouse pad, or you can use a screen. So I thought that was really cool. I don't really have a lot of Android games, so I just happened to download Raid 11 or that game Raid. I was watching a video with Icy Mike, and it was just like, oh, I give that a shot. So I'm not really a big Raid Shadow Legends player, so as you saw, I'm probably like level 2 or level 3. But it's just kind of, I think it's cool that you can do it. And so like even if you want some, just kind of waste some time games like Angry Birds or whatever, you can go ahead and get them right there through the App Store. So, or the Google Play Store, I should say. Now, last but not least, I do a lot of like that website Good Old Games, and I have a lot of older games that I still have on a portable hard drive. Like I like Supreme Commander 2, StarCraft II, and then of course WarCraft 3, Reign of Chaos, and Frozen Throne, and some just little more classical retro games, maybe even some Unreal Tournament 2004. And all of those games run fine on this. So if you want some more retro games, so you just have like maybe an old school gaming session, you can. And then of course just tie a mouse to it if you don't want to have, this. And so that was one of the things like I was talking about with that the Razer Basilisk V3 Pro is I can flip it to Bluetooth mode and then I can play right with this computer. And I thought that was pretty cool. And like I said, you can also play all those old retro games, and it has no problem playing any of those because they're just so old. So, well, there you have it. I think it's a viable gaming system if you want to, make some compromises, of course. It's not a gaming system, but that's not what I bought it for, and that's probably not what you're buying it for. This isn't that type of system. So, if you're willing to dial some things down and, use the Game Pass system, which if you don't have Game Pass and you have an Xbox for sure, and you have a PC, what are you doing? I think you're crazy. You should definitely get Game Pass. It's probably one of the best values of video games out there. But besides that, I think it's good. So there you go. There's my 2 cents. JD said it. JD Tech Ninja said you can game on a Surface Pro 8 and maybe even a Pro, well, for sure a Pro 9 because it's got the even better processor. But yeah, the Surface Pro can game. Awesome. See you guys later.